We are 2:01. Let me, awesome, there's the normal shutdown that happens. Normally, there's not anybody in here. I wish you guys would talk to my Tuesday, Thursday, 8 a.m. guys. They come strolling in at 8:10, 8:20. It's like, class starts at 8. I can't go back and reteach what I've already told everybody. Hold on, come on. Okay, I need to be, let me go over here. Let me try course content over here and see if I can find it. Cameras, no, shoot. These things are so bad. Let's see. Okay, so you are arguing bullying, forms, physical, cyber, verbal, people impacted by bullying, the effects. So your argument is that bullying needs to be, are we talking cyberbullying or just all bullying?
Well, just bullying.
Okay, so
we.
The issue is that this is informative. What I see right there is informative.
Right.
Because you don't have your side. Hold on. Excuse me. Turn-in thesis and major points here is in week 9. Let me move it really quick, okay? Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. That makes so much more sense now. Okay. And I'm still having issues. Okay, so do you have evidence in these areas, or?
Yes.
Okay, so.
The only one that I don't have evidence for is the definition, but I mean,
well,
it was gonna just be like a bully.
Well, bullying is one of those things that, it's when one person picks on another person through the use of intimidation of some kind. That's really the definition for bullying.
Right.
Okay, so we're looking at, so do you want to argue, see, what I've got to figure out is bullying, here we go. Despite, I'm going to have to do one of those ones where you say, let's say, despite many people believing, but I'm trying to write a thesis that will go with what you have here. Believing that bullying doesn't hurt those bullied. Do you see what I'm doing now?
Well, cause I was also, cause in my, article that I got, it talked about how it also affects those who, did the bullying. So
right, so you've got, okay. Okay, all right, so see, I'm stopping and thinking, so bullying is a problem for those who are bullied. See how okay. Those who bully and for those who are bullied, and those who bully. See, I'm trying to work with what the information you tell me you have. Have you done any more research yet?
Yeah, I have like another article.
Okay, well you need to find a couple more to help yourself out. Okay, that's a picture of the lights in Abernathy, maybe? Or is it Crosbyton? There we go. Crosbyton's not going to be there. It was Abernathy. Good morning, Lorenzo. Good morning, Lorenzo. So, just as a heads up, hope you got your laptops out. If you haven't, there is a spot for you to turn in thesis statement with your breakdown on your parts, okay? I moved it to week. I moved it to the wrong week. I moved it to week 10 instead of week 11. It's in week 10, okay? Let me double check. It was in week 9. I couldn't find it earlier. And then it hit me, it had to be in the week where the day's at. Maybe I moved it to 11. Okay, I guess I moved it to week 11. So if you go into week 11, and you're getting extra credit for turning this in, okay? All right, where did I put it? Did I put it back in 9? Let me find it, sorry. I'm trying to do 2 things at one time, and neither one is going well. I'm just going to say that, okay? So that's week 11. Nope. And Zach, let me let you have this back, 'cause I've got it started, we'll come back to it in a minute, okay? Let me see if I just put it where it was. That's all I can figure. Turn-in thesis, I guess I just put it there. Oh, I moved it outside. All right, I'm gonna move this into, this is week 11, so I'm gonna put it in week 11, all right? I figured that's the easiest way to do it, if I can get my weeks right. There's week 11, okay? So if you can turn it in there, so now you're going to, when you go into week 11, you'll see it down at the bottom. I was in yesterday, putting grades in, 'cause I've graded a few out of this section, and I've sent them to the schools, haven't graded any SPC ones yet, okay? And so I was seeing that I had people turning in thesis statements in this class and nobody else, and I was like, where did that come from? 'Cause I'd put it in week 9. Kinda crazy. So week 11, right down at the bottom, you will see it says, turn-in thesis and major points here. It's just extra credit, it's just 5 points, don't freak out or anything, okay? I accidentally put it in with a due date in my other classes of October 31st, and I've already did I forget to do something from people, so don't panic. So, that's it. So what I was gonna do, very quickly, morning, J.C., is I was going to, excuse me, as I'm hot and cold, so it's just one of those deals. Gonna look over that. I promise I will have all of your papers graded by the end of the week. I cannot guarantee that I'll have them by Wednesday, 'cause this is my biggest section, so I've got, how many I have in here? I have 25 and 4. 25 and 4. I have 29 in this section, so it's a little bit longer to get through all the papers, okay? So, all right. 11-1. Oh, I have 3 weeks until my birthday. That's always good to have another birthday. All right, so I'm gonna go into needs grading. So if you haven't turned in the thesis statement with the points, you can do that. In week 11, you'll see it's down at the very bottom. This is embarrassing to say, that I've got so many things in here to grade. We are in week 11. I put it in week 9 originally. So, but I just put it in this week because this is the week we're on. I guess that kind of makes sense to me anyway. Okay, so it's gonna look like Rayleigh's the first one up. And again, Crosbyton's, nobody's in Crosbyton, they've all gone off.
Miss Thompson?
For St. Martin Conference.
Miss Thompson?
And then Abernathy's gonna be gone next Monday. Is it just a holiday, or is it Abernathy National Holiday next Monday or something? What?
Teacher work day.
You're gonna be out? Teacher work day?
It's a teacher work day. Also, we're in week 10. On the thing, it says week 10 is November 1st through the 7th.
It should be week 10. All right, I'm clear. I have no idea what week it is. Okay, I can move it right back there. Don't panic. Oh, don't panic.
I knew I wasn't the only one.
Okay, you weren't the only one, sorry. Okay. Let me get into the class, and I'll move it. Just give me a second here. I guess I'm ready for the semester to be done. And I've got all these papers to grade, so come on. I left my mouse at school on Thursday, so I bought a new external mouse to use, and it doesn't always, when I click it, it doesn't always click. I can hear the click, but it doesn't always react, so. Okay, I'm gonna move it into week 10, so I'm in the right dadgum week. Course content. It's not hard, it's pretty easy. I guess I could look down there and see that week 11 is 8 through the 14th, okay. All right, I'm moving it, so, nobody's in it right now, are they? Nobody's sitting in week 11? Okay. Let me move it back to week 10. That's one of the few easier things it is to do. And I'll put it out where it's not in the argumentation folder. Okay, so it should be in week 10 now. Yep, there it is, down at the bottom of week 10. So this week, those thesis, we're gonna go over the thesis points and the topics, okay? You have that for extra credit, 5 points, but 5 points is 5 points, let's be honest, okay? And turn-in thesis and major points here, and then you have the quiz over the student argument essays. Remember, you need those essays up when you take that test. That means you're gonna have to, flip back and forth between windows, okay? just to, and it tells you right, oh, you can't see it. It actually tells you, teenagers and jobs on page 371, I think it's actually 370. And then once over lightly, local TV news. This essay argues about, that tells you what they're arguing about. That's where the questions, the answers will be in those two essays. And you have an hour to take it. So you might want to read those essays before you take the test, right? Okay? All right. Let me come out of here, go into new grading. I hear somebody talk, someone asking me something?
Exactly. Cause I don't know how to work it. Neither do I. I say we do nothing because we have no idea how to do the thing. It's like, oh, if you just turn it on, it should work. I don't know how do we turn it on. Don't try. Yeah, don't try.
Hey, Crosbyton, y'all's mic is on.
Yeah, Crosbyton, turn off your mic. Okay, so there might be one or two people in there. Okay, mainly I need to, all right, so we're gonna look at Rayleigh's first.
That was so funny.
And to have two Rayleighs in the same class is what I consider very unusual. But I do have two Rayleighs in here. So let's see what Rayleigh's looks like. Okay. Thesis. All right, let's make big. There we go. Thesis. Behavioral disorders difficulty is derived from multiple factors such as variation in treatments, causes, public misinformation, and inconsistent theories on how to handle them. Okay, so, that is a thesis. Is it an argumentative thesis is the big question. Y'all with me?
But it wasn't due yet.
No, Zachary, pay attention, this is a psychological one.
And that's what's going on.
We didn't have to turn in anything on Friday.
I didn't, you missed it, I said, because you were late. I said, I have to put a due date on it. I can't create an assignment without a due date on it, so I'm not counting anything late, because I told you guys to bring it Monday, so, or to be ready with it Monday, okay? All right, so let me make this bigger again. Okay, so we can read it. So, my biggest issue with Rayleigh's thesis is I don't think it's argumentative. What are we trying to prove? What are you arguing? Is anybody gonna argue that behavioral disorders difficulty is derived from multiple factors? Is anybody gonna argue that? So, that's what we have to watch out for, is that what we have is argumentative. So, while some think behavioral are an easy fix, give the person sedatives, and it's been found that for most people that is not effective. Let's see, I'm looking at the points. Many people believe that children, adolescents, it should be not CE, but TS, adolescents and adolescents. If I'm trying to talk about plural teenagers, is TS, not CE is, a noun. So, we gotta be careful. With behavioral are just social deviants, and they just need to be, don't need to just in one sentence. To be instructed on how to properly behave. It has been found, though, that they are chemically caused and due to environment along with genetics. Okay. I'm trying to figure out how to make this one argumentative. Many people believe that only the behavioral disorders are ADHD and ADD, but there are others such as OCD and BP. Okay, OCD, obsessive compulsive behavior. I have no idea what BP is, besides blood pressure. That's what it is in my world. Well, you're making your way there. I think what she's gonna need is something that says that, like I was working with yours, trying to turn it into because you might have to give the opposing side. Many people believe that behavioral disorders are not really illnesses. But by looking at, do you see how now I'm turning it into an argument? But by looking at the variation in treatments, the causes, public misinformation, and inconsistent theories on how to handle them, society can see that it's truly a disease. You see how you have to make it that. And that's what we've got to do with yours, all right, Zach? You have to, by giving the opposite side, you have, on this one, it's one of those that you're going to have to get something from informative to persuasive, you have to talk about, because let's be honest, most people are sitting there thinking, you know, hey, why don't you just make them behave? Okay? I mean, I have one grandson I have two, actually. Two out of three grandsons have ADHD. It's just easier to throw them all together, okay? And both are on medication, and it's amazing what it does. But, so there are a lot of people out there, when I was growing up, they didn't have behavioral disorders for kids. You just had to learn to live with it, or the teachers, or you spend a lot of time in the office. We'll just say that. So, despite many, so here, y'all help me, tell me if I'm gonna get this right, let me go find, I gotta find, here we go, here's the answer thing. It's a lot of work. Okay. It helps if I put an E in there. Right. Just small keyboard makes, I'm gonna blame all my mistakes on the keyboard, not on my typing. Sorry. I'm going back up because I wanna make sure I say it correctly. ADHD.
I'm gonna do it right now.
I'm sorry, do you see how I'm trying to turn it into argumentative? Looking at, okay, but I'm gonna have to change the order. Looking at public misinformation, here we go. See how I'm trying to fit it in public? Please, people tell me you have the jumping cursor. Y'all see what I'm doing? I'm trying to start off with that, public disinformation, inconsistency in treatment, I remember that was one. I hear somebody, let's see. Oh, the computer's not on, sorry. Yeah, it would help if I had it up there. Come on. All right, so I've got, thesis is not argument. Despite many people believing that ADD and ADHD are not real illnesses, looking at the public disinformation, inconsistency in treatment,
So that's her comment on the
causes and treatment. Well, see, treatments and inconsistent theories. Oh, inconsistent theories. I think inconsistent treatment might feel, I think inconsistent treatment would cover treatment and theories, because theories are about how you treat them, so, let's see, and causes. Show the true nature of this. I'm gonna say illness, it's not a great word, but it probably needs to be changed, okay? So that's what I'm trying to do, is trying to give you something to work with, and let you know if you've got argumentative or not. So that's in there for Rayleigh, and, again, I thought I might as well give extra credit for this, okay? That's how my mind was working. Let's see. This is so huge, it's hilarious. Oh, turn it, okay.
So cute.
Dahlia's not there. Dahlia, are you in Crosbyton? No. Sarah, are you there? I see, I'm finding out who all in Crosbyton. I was gonna skip them and come back to them.
Okay.
Okay. Wow. Right now, what I'm seeing is, let's see, Kimbra's in Crosbyton. All the Crosbyton kids got their stuff turned in early, because they knew they were heading to state. Okay. Piper's from Crosbyton.
Said she's not gonna count.
Okay, we're gonna have to go through theirs, because I don't have, oh, that's what I was gonna do. Sorry, I was gonna do an update on my screen. So I could, if anybody else has put theirs in, I can do I can get those loaded in. Because once I'm sitting in, stuff turned in, that's how it works in Blackboard. When you're sitting in a folder, when you're sitting in any content, any area in Blackboard, if something gets put into it, you can't see it until you, update your screen. Let's see. Yeah, so there's another 10. What? Okay. So you guys need to get these in today. I can't guarantee when I'll see them, because I'm gonna be grading essays. There's all those summaries. I can't wait to get to those. Those will go fast. Come on, click. All right, we'll start looking at.
So what to do today?
I asked you to work on it and have it ready for class. That's what I did. Now I'm giving you extra credit for it, so, okay. So we'll go ahead and look at Maricela's, okay? All right, my thesis is smoking can damage a person's body, harm people around them, and it's hard to quit smoking. My major points are how bad, okay, all right, let's blow this up. It'll take me a while to find it over here. There it is. Okay, so, all right, my thesis is smoking can damage a person's body, harm people around them, and it's hard to quit smoking. Okay, so, the problem with the smoking one, and I kind of tried to tell you all this, is nobody's going to argue that smoking is good for you. So, how do we make it argumentative?
Should we talk about, like, how it's not necessarily bad, but, like, the different side effects, or the different...
Well, that's what she's got here, damage a person's body, harm people around them.
Or she should just compare negatives instead of doing positive and negative, do like...
Well, they're all negatives. Yeah, it becomes a tough one when you're arguing something that nobody's gonna argue against it, okay? But cigarette, the whole point is that cigarette smoking is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So, that might actually be somewhere somebody needs to look. Why do people keep smoking? Besides the fact that it's addictive, okay? Let's see. Okay, so what has to be argued is that smoking should be declared illegal. Okay, that's what's gonna have to be argued. Smoking should be made illegal because of its, notice I use the right its, okay? ITS. Remember, you wouldn't say because of its negative effects on the human body. Okay. I wouldn't say because of it is negative effects. See, remember, that's what I told y'all to be aware of when you're taking that apostrophe quiz, okay? Let's go back down and look and see, I'm going to say the human body. See, now I've got to make an amendment here because of the next, on the users, see, I'm going to change it to user's body. The harm it causes to others exposed to the smoke, right? Well, the 6 of one, half dozen of the other. Users implies that somebody who's using it, okay? And so when you're talking about the negative effects of smoking, you're going to say, for one thing, it's highly addictive. And when you inhale it, you're getting this and this and this. And it might be interesting, and, smoking, maybe if she made it smoking / vaping. I don't know, that's a possibility, okay? Because that's the big trend right now is vaping. Any of you guys vape? Yeah. Okay, just don't do it in my class. It is extremely harmful. You're getting it so much quicker into your bloodstream. Do you realize that? And I'm an ex-smoker. I stopped smoking in 1989. Because it tastes better than cigarettes, yeah. Because that's why it's even more addictive. So let's go look at. I was going to look at. Okay. And it's hard to quit smoking. And I'm just going to say it causes other smoke and its addictive nature. Does that feel more argumentative, you guys? Smoking should be made illegal? Okay. Because in a way, it is worse than the effects of it, or are they worse than marijuana use? I don't know. I haven't studied to compare and contrast marijuana and smoking. That might be a good, interesting comparison and contrast paper. You know what I'm saying? To see, but you're looking at the negative effects, okay? So we've got it. So, slight change in your thesis to make it more argumentative, okay? Okay, so we'll go on to the next one. So this is going to be Thalia's. as I scroll down through all the stuff. There we go. Keeping the legal drinking age at 21 allows and prepares people to make great decisions, have fewer consequences, and ensure their health risks stay low. My three major points are decision-making, consequences, and health risk. I think that works okay. In other words, keeping the drinking age. She might even want to say raising. I'm gonna throw that in there. What do you think? This is okay. To make positives more positive? Okay. All right, that one works. And actually, whose was that? Who was the second one? Who was that by? That was Thalia. Okay. I'm gonna go into Thalia's real quick and you might wanna add vaping to it. Okay? So, cause I wanna give you guys the benefits of what's happening here. Thalia Marquez, I have to stop thinking names. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna have to shrink this. And I'm also giving you guys time to get yours in, so you can get that extra credit. And we need to make sure, some of you never finish things, okay? When you don't finish them, it makes it really hard to give you the credit. There it is, right there. Okay. Let me find her answer thing. My response, I gotta find my response. Might want to add vaping to this. Okay. I just felt like she needed that benefit because, to me, vaping is a much greater crisis than smoking. I mean, do you guys see much people your age smoking?
I feel like everyone.
Really?
It's so normal now, like, so normal. Vaping, everyone does it.
No, now you're saying vaping, I'm saying smoking. Okay. Okay, so smoking is the addictive nature like Facebook is? Facebook's for old people, smoking's for old people?
I mean, I wouldn't make that connection, I'm just saying that older people tend to.
Well, because vaping's only been around for about the last, what, maybe 10 years?
What would you call 30?
Are you saying smoking has more?
I'm talking about cigarettes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, old people? Old people, yeah. Hey, I gave it up in '89, so you can already tell that's almost, that's 32 years.
I don't know, unless they're drinking,
She said, and she quit, like, 2 years ago, and she's like 78.
Well, I'm, just to give you a heads up, I mean, I grew up around two parents who smoked. And so, I was much more likely to become addicted because of that, because my body was around smoking. You know, I inhaled it from the time I was a baby. So, my father passed away of a heart attack when I was like 23. My mother remarried another gentleman, and he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And when they came out and told us that I stopped smoking that day. And that was in 1989. So I have smoked, I've now been a non-smoker longer than I was exposed to it. So that's the good news. All right, here we go. So we're up to Kimbra's, okay. Except I skipped Melise, okay.
Is that considered 30 or old, or would that be young?
30 is young?
I feel like that would be like towards the.
Okay, when I was Kurt, are you guys all 18? You, how old are you, Zach? You're 20, wow, you're so much older. And we know the kids in the high schools are young, okay. So we're looking at Kimbra's now. Okay, so I see 3 supporting points. My thesis statement, the use of animal testing for biomedical research is essential because it tests innovative medical drugs, provides vaccine, and keeps humans safe from harmful medicines. My only statement to her is that she's missing that economic. The economic. Sorry, I can't get my finger off the shift key. You might want to look into the economic benefits, because if you are developing vaccines and stuff, then less people are having to go in the hospital because they're having cheaper treatment. It's, animal experimentation, okay? So, we're doing okay so far. I mean, I'm glad to see I'm able to do. Okay, we're up to Ashley. Teacher salaries need to be raised because it is hard to teach kids. Teachers have no breaks and they have enough money to do so. All right, so I have a problem with that. Who is they? The only noun in this thesis is teachers. You have to say, no, students aren't the ones who pay. So that, you see the issue? Teacher salaries need to be raised because it is hard to teach kids. There's a more academic way to phrase that. Are y'all with me? Because teachers have no breaks. They has to be changed to school districts. Okay? Have enough money to do so. I don't think that's a legitimate argument, okay? When you're talking about, like, Houston, HISD, you know, it's huge. And there's a lot, because your money to do it so is not always there. That's why they have what's called Robin Hood funding, where they would take money from the rich districts and distribute it to the poor districts. So like Sundown has to help pay for education in somewhere else in the state. It doesn't even get to keep the money out here, so, okay. So, all right, so let's talk about, let's let her know, okay. Your third point is not the best. My 3 main points are, teachers have no breaks, okay. Actually, teachers do have breaks. I don't know if it's enough, you know, and they have enough money to raise their salaries. Let's say, let me come back up here. Let's see. Your third point is of it, and second needs work. Difficulty in teaching to a state test. What else? What else for teachers? Why should they get raises? We actually, do y'all realize we get 9-month salaries spread out over 12 months? That's what happens with the salary. Don't think we're getting big bucks and we don't have to work 3 months. That salary, you know, Texas ranks very low in the average scale for teacher pay. Okay. I promised my mouse wasn't up there. Lack of respect for the profession, and overcrowding in schools. At least not in most small schools, but big schools, you know, if you have, you know, you should go to, which school did you go to, Zach?
I went to Petersburg School, it's a small school.
Petersburg, okay, so small school. Megan, you went to? Estacado, which is a smaller school. And, so how many did you graduate with? You remember? Are you talking like 200? Got it handy somewhere. Overcrowding in schools, and, okay, I'm just trying to say that we need some work on that. So please, if you see a 5 on your thesis and things, please go look and see if I typed anything, because I want to reward you for doing stuff. Okay, Piper is gonna do, schools should not be based on whether the students are passing tests, because not all teachers get through the criteria, students' absences, and the grading system in schools. Okay. All right.
I can find it, but it's definitely not a lot, but
Are we talking in the, it's 3A or 4A? It's a 4A.
4A right
4A.
now.
So it's probably got about, you probably have between 300 and 400 in your class.
Well, we're about to jump to a 5A, but I don't think it's gonna be necessarily be affecting because I'm.
Okay.
But, this year they do have breaks for, like, each class that gets added, they gain, like, so many, like, we keep growing.
Well, that's happening, that's like, New Deal's probably gonna jump up within the next few years because of,
When I was like a freshman and sophomore, we were only like a 3A. and then we jumped to a 4A, and now we're about to jump to a 5A.
Okay, I don't like that. All right, so I'm not sure what I did, but it wasn't right. There we go. Schools should not be, see, the problem is it says schools should not be based on weather, okay? So, okay, I'm gonna get rid of that, okay. I'm gonna have to shrink this so I can see. That went up, I wanted it smaller. Okay,
You make it longer by saying replacing schools with, academic and,
well, you can make the words longer, and yes, you need that help, because you need those words. But, if you have enough points, you're gonna be able to get the link. So the other thing you're going to do, you gotta do some research. So if you can't get to the 600 word minimum, go find some more sources. Don't just have it all be quotes though. So we're looking at this, so it's gonna be a school district's standing, educational standing in the state. You see what I'm now doing? The state should not be based on, where'd that go? Okay, should not be based. It's a minimum, yeah, are you seeing how 600 is not gonna be that long? If you've got enough research, you can do way more. Okay, it's on, through the criteria, so there should not be based on, the test scores for its students, and that's a possessive one, not STUDNet. I type that all the time, STUDNet. Students, okay, sorry. And the grading system in schools, okay, I don't know about that, but we'll see. Okay. Student. And if you stop and think about it, just what's happening for me this week, I've got, one big school who's gonna, half of that school is gonna be gone. I have one small school, Crosbyton, they don't march till tomorrow, so I'm sure they had a big send-off today. Or maybe I don't think they left yesterday, I think they probably left today, this morning. So, yeah, student, absence rates, and what was her last point? I think I can remember it. And the grading system, and schools grading system, okay, hold on. I don't know if that's a great point. I would have to see if she has research, okay? That's one of those issues that sometimes you might not be, if you come up with 3 points, but you can't find any research to validate one of it, to back up what you're saying about it, then you're gonna have to switch. That's just how it goes. Okay, I'm getting some emails, so let me check this out. Okay. Okay. Excuses. Oh, crud. I did the thing I hate the most. I clicked delete way too soon, and I deleted a message I need. Okay, hold on. Move to inbox. Did y'all do that? I'm just, it's sad to think I'm that fast on my mouse, but I am. Let me, I've got to answer a question from one of my schools. I put this is the same thing. They wanted to know why, is this the same thing? Okay. There we go. Students freaking out. Okay, so, let me go back over here. I'm gonna come and do a refresh on my screen and see if anybody else has put theirs in. Got yours in yet, JC?
No, I lost mine. Yeah.
I do have, like, a question.
Okay,
You know how you always have to stand next to the speaker?
so I can hear it. Mhm.
Won't you, like, have, like, a Zoom meeting, and that way they can tag into the chat?
Well, the reason on the Zoom is that when we do have Zoom connected to the ITV, it connects through ITV, and that there's a sound feedback issue. I could hear them through Zoom, maybe, but there's a feedback issue, so they have to keep their mics muted when we're in Zoom.
Yeah, but they can tag the meeting feedback.
True. They could also put it in if they submit it, then I have it. And they don't have to go back to the Zoom chat to find it. So, let me, hold on. I'm just gonna go into something else. Come on. Please. It's hard, like I said, this mouse is giving me problems, but at least I could do some work this weekend. Okay, I see I'm getting a few more in. Okay, I'm gonna skip down from all those Crosbyton kiddos and come down to Charlie. And don't worry, it's not late, okay? There's no lateness involved in this. Okay. Let's see, over the decades, the behavior of children has worsened through parents, society, and exposure at a young age. Okay, so maybe, Charlie, that's a little too concise in I'm just gonna copy, hold on. I'm gonna put that in a Word document, make this a lot easier. That just so happens that's the paper I have to grade for somebody else. Okay. I'm gonna make this bigger. Okay. Over the decades, the behavior of children. Okay, over the decades is an introductory prepositional phrase. You need a comma after it. The behavior of children has worsened through. You can't just through parents. Okay. You've got inadequate parents. Oh, that's an interesting word to choose. Through society and how it impacts children. I would say yes.
Is worsen a word?
Yes, worsen is a word. More worse. Worsened. And the easiest way to check it. Well, no, that's okay. Let's check it out and see what happens. Let's go with the review. Let's go to thesaurus and see what comes up. Deteriorated. Deteriorated might be a better word to use. That might be an instance where worsen sounds less, it doesn't sound correct, so you could do deteriorated, get worse, gone downhill, exacerbated. Great word. Okay? So be willing to do that. All right. So I don't like through parent, society, and exposure. So those need to make sense, and they've got to be parallel. So you've got a single word, and what? So, Charlie, you need to work on, you got to expand parents and you got to expand society. You're actually going to have to go with, I don't know if inadequate is the right word to use for parenting. I would say because of a lack of parenting skills. Are you with me on that, Charlie? Because of a lack of parenting skills, or unprepared parents, might work. The impact of society on children and its expectations, the thing is, exposure to adult things at an early age in society could end up being the same thing. Y'all with me? Because what we're talking about is society. If we're exposure to adult things, that happens on TV and on radio. There's nothing like hearing a 7-year-old sing lyrics from a rap song that are totally inappropriate for a 7-year-old to be singing, right? But it happens. So these two may be pretty close. All right? You with me, Charlie? Wave your hand at me, Charlie, wherever you are. Is she there? Your point, thanks. I appreciate the point. That helps. Okay. So, you've got to be very careful. Society is part of the reason that you have the exposure to adult things. So that what you might just have are two major points, and that would be acceptable, because you can probably find a lot about these two, because I really think you're gonna see that those are the same thing. So we have lack of parenting skills, we have exposure to age-inappropriate materials, and we'll just say exposure to age-inappropriate, see, that's the English teacher in me coming out, exposure to age-inappropriate, whatever out there in our world, which is society. See how that kind of does both of them? And that might be enough, because I think you can find out there's a lot of, you're talking about video games, you're talking about television, you're talking about movies. There's nothing like you go to see a movie with a lot of violence in it, and there's like babies in their mommy's arms and 3-year-old kids in there, and you're like, why are they watching this? I'm scared. They gotta be terrified. So, you have to be careful about that. So you've got it, we just need to work on some phrasing there, all right? So that's all I'm gonna say, and you're gonna have to make the changes on your own. 2 and 3 are almost the same. But that's just me thinking about the effects, okay? All right, let's see here. Okay, so Scotland turned hers in. I'm gonna open it up real quick. Okay, all right. Come on. I have a little squirty ball. Okay. Paternity leave allows the father to be involved in early milestones in a child's life, allows the mother to receive help with the child and around the house, and can influence the child's behavior later in life. That is a great thesis. It's informative. It's not argumentative. So you need to say, businesses need to provide paternity leave for fathers, because you've got to set it up as argumentative, all right, Scotland? That's what you need to do. Let me get back over, let me find you, get out of that one, don't save, sorry. What? No, you don't get paid for maternity leave, or paternity leave. Now, let me phrase it this way. If you work at a job and you've accumulated days, you can take those. Yeah, you can use your time off days. So once somebody gets pregnant, they try not to use their time off. Or like, when I left the school district, I had 45 days of leave that never got used. I lost those. Yeah, that made me unhappy. Okay. All right, let me find Scotland here. Needs grading, find her. Okay. Well, I don't see it in there. Scotland, I don't see it in there, so make the changes and resubmit, okay? I thought I updated it. Let me see. Yeah, it's not showing up in there for me. Oh, there it is, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, it must be argumentative, so, businesses need to grant paternity leave because, give your reasons, okay? That's simple. Sydney, hey, you're up. The legal limit should not be lowered because underage, okay, you got way too many commas in there, Sydney, okay? Just letting you know. All right, make it big. No, I don't want to print. Why do I keep hitting Control P? I want to hit the plus. All right, the legal drinking age should not be lowered because underage drinking can, get rid of the comma after because underage drinking can cause risky behavior. Underage drinking does not put a dent in drunk driving accidents. And underage drinking, you need an and in front, could cause teens to be future alcoholics. Okay, it'll work, you just gotta make sure you've got parallel structures, okay? I'm sorry. I did this Wednesday. This is what? All right, Michaela and Designer Babies. All right, so you've got, the first sentence says, the creation of designer babies should be declared illegal because, and get rid of, because they are, delete that, one creation that should not exist because they are ethically unquestionable. It is far too easy to create a child that has been genetically altered to be a perfect creature, and the technology that is used is new and untested. Okay, don't put quotation marks around perfect. Okay, wait a second. But your major points are, this technology is unbelievably expensive procedure that would not be available to the entire public. It has to be part of your thesis. That can't be one of your supports if you're not talking about the money. Okay? So that should be one of your points versus, I think, get rid of the second one. Put money up there in the second one, okay? And that's Michaela, right? Okay. Children are created as they are for a reason. Scientists should not play God with embryos. That reads more like your second point, and the technology. Okay, so number 2 is actually your first point, excuse me. Number 1 is not in there. It should be your second point. So don't go, it is far too easy to create a child that has been genetically altered. Go. The cost is prohibitive and would not be available to everyone. That should be your reason. You got it, Michaela? If you don't, you can always watch the video and get the words.
So, she can't put parentheses or the quotations around.
Well, there's not a reason to put quotation marks around perfect. She's trying to show emphasis.
Well, because it's like everyone's viewpoint on perfect is different, so it's showing that like perfect is like.
It's up to the individual.
Yeah.
But in this, I don't think she's using it to say that. I think she's saying, in other words, the reason that they're doing it is so they can prevent babies from being born with any kind of mental problems, physical problems, and that you can get, everybody can be blonde-haired and blue-eyed, if that's what you want, or brown-haired and brown-eyed. So I don't think it's arguing that there will be different versions of perfect. It's arguing that I'm just saying you don't need the quotation marks around perfect. That's my point. It's just she's trying to show emphasis that a perfect child, it's like, when you put the air quotation marks around words for emphasis, and which is a little annoying. We only really need in this paper to quote words that are quoted from the source. Okay, so remember, first point is actually the third one on your list of things. Technology. Wait, no, that's your third point. So third one's okay. The first one is ethically questionable. Your second point is actually your second number is actually your first point, and then you need to make your second point money. Did everybody get that from me? Okay, let me see if I can type that in there for her. Okay, all right. Third point, okay. With number 3. Number 1 is actually, wait, hold on. See, the cursor jumped. First point is actually number 2, need to make money the middle point of thesis. So when I'm talking points, I'm talking about the thesis. And when I'm giving you the numbers, you gave me a list of numbers, okay? So that's how I'm trying to match that up. So we're about out of time. I'll try to get through them, is all I can say. There we go, okay. I think I got hot in my sweater, and that's causing me to cough. Ooh, all right, so Wednesday.
Your conference is scheduled to end in 2 minutes.
We're probably gonna, Lord only knows what we're gonna do. Let me find it. Oh, we're going over the sample paper on Wednesday. So you'll need access to the textbook in some way, shape, or form, okay?
And that sample paper is what the text does, right?
No. No, we are not looking at, what we're looking at Wednesday is the professional example, okay? Let me get to the right week, yeah, the model essay to consider is on 380. The two essays that the quiz are over are on start on 370. So they come before the model essay, okay? I'll try to get through these, get these in sometime today so you can get extra credit, okay?